Happy Sunday, Oaklawn race fans. It is a beautiful day to be here in the Spa City. I'm Nancy Holthus, joined alongside track announcer Matt Dinnerman. Matt, we had 30,000 people on track yesterday, and the energy and the vibe was so awesome.
It was sensational. I mean, we talked about it before the races yesterday on our pre-race show here, Nancy, that it just felt like it was going to be a big day on track, and that's exactly how it turned out. And people having a great time. I called the races that ended at the 16th pole yesterday, and I'd turn off the microphone as soon as I took off that headset. It was just
Isn't that awesome?
as they come by.
So cool.
Pretty fun.
The paddock was 4 or 5 deep on both sides throughout the day. We had an amazing card. We saw an amazing Arkansas bred. But let's go ahead. We'll talk about that, but let's take a look at our weather page. Love to see that the sun is shining and a fast track. It's a little chilly outside, I'm not going to lie. It's 41 degrees, and that wind is whipping out of the north-northwest at 15 miles per hour. So might see a few more people just go outside only when they're coming down the stretch. So as I said, we had a really good day yesterday, and that just kind of parlayed over from Friday's card. So let's take a quick look at our news page. And it was a really good day for jockey Ramon Vasquez and Joe Bilmer, both with riding doubles. And Steve Asmussen had a training double and an owner double, as he owned both of those two horses that were victorious. And also, we do have a Classics carryover today of $6,865.41. I still want to know where that blasted penny comes from. How is that possible? Touchdown, Arkansas, something we didn't get to hear too often during our football season, but we heard it yesterday as this Arkansas bred scored in the no double Breeders' Stakes for trainer Tom Vanberg. Francisco Arrieta making a repeat trip to the Stakes Winners Circle, and that one owned by Lewis Matthews Jr. Some Arkansas connections. He's from Bismarck. The fields are set for the Honeybee and Rebel Stakes, and we drew the Honeybee yesterday in the racing office. You can actually go on X, follow Oaklawn Racing, and you can see that draw, how it came to fruition. And also yesterday, honored to be a part of the Rebel draw that was done live on Fox Sports. We had some of our racing crew out there and got a really good feel of the field, which also, if you're on property, both field boards are located outside the paddock next to the information booth, so you can get a good look. I see a lot of people stopping and taking photos. And Matt, interesting because we did draw the Honeybee, and we see some barns very well represented. Morning line goes to Explora, which is pretty interesting. Bob Baffert shipping in, coming off a runner-up finish in the Las Virgenes. So interesting. I like that Flavian Pratt comes in. What are your thoughts for the Honeybee, which, by the way, has 105 Kentucky Oaks qualifying points?
This is a really good race. Explora at 7-5, an aggressive morning line, given that Taken by the Wind comes off a win herself in a local for Louisiana. In Louisiana, a Kentucky Oaks points race. But Explorer for Bob Baffert, figuring you're going to get a lot of play there with that horse just because of the human connections alone. But she's got good form as well, and she's one of Bob's better 3-year-old fillies. Search Party, 9-2. I mean, you don't often see a runner who comes off a nice stakes win prepping for the Honeybee, 9-2. That tells you how strong of a field this is. You've got Sneaky Good coming from Florida for trainer Brad Cox, Irad Ortiz Jr. riding. She has to show a little more to win the race, but I do think she will get bet simply because of those human connections and coming from Florida. She's a pretty nice filly. Even Counting Stars. I mean, if you're willing to just totally toss out her last race, she's wheeling back quickly after basically being eased last time out. She ran a hole in the win in the year's end stakes. 15-1, that's a heck of a good price for you.
Yes, a really good field of 10 set to go in the Grade 3 Honeybee. But let's transition to the Grade 2 Rebel. It is a $1 million purse, and it is contested at 1 mile and a 16th. And there's our field of 10. That is so cool. As we're kind of piggybacking off of Breeders' Cup.
Yep.
And I don't know, this might not be the last time you see us do live draws throughout the meet. I'm hearing maybe every $1 million race moving forward, we're going to do that. So I think it's something.
That.
I think it's something really cool for the fans to see, because a lot of people don't know how our races are positioned. Like, how do they come up with that post position? But yeah, you got to see a really good live draw for the grade $2 million Rebel Stakes. And it is a field of 10, but I'm kind of confused how, and I'm sure I'm going to get some, don't at me for this, but Blackout Time assigned as the 8-5 morning line. We haven't seen this horse since a runner-up finish. It was to Ted Noffey, but definitely gives up recency. We haven't seen him since early October at Keeneland, which is kind of surprising to me. They're going to just right out the gate, 8-5 favoritism.
Yeah, I mean, look, being a morning line maker is not easy.
No,
it's a hard
absolutely
job.
right.
It
You're
can be a
100%
thankless
correct.
job.
Right.
However, I think a lot of us were surprised at that aggressive 8-5 morning line, given that he is coming off a layoff. We haven't seen him since Keeneland, which was before the Breeders'
Right.
Cup, as you mentioned. Obviously, he's been very well regarded for actually quite some time since they first got him in Kenny McPeak's barn. But this is not a bad field. This is a really good
Yes,
field.
it is.
And on top of it, Kenny's going to do, look, when you run in $1 million race, Kenny's going to do everything he can to get this horse as fit as possible off works alone with the time frame he's got from the first work, which is about 6 weeks ago or so, until next Sunday. But I think this horse still, you have to question, is he really going to be 100% cranked?
Right.
You can only get a horse so fit based off
Right.
works, no matter how hard you drill him. And I think at 8-5, if you were to stay low, for example, I don't think that's a good bet necessarily. Might be a good horse. He could win the race, but he wouldn't be a great bet at 8-5.
Yeah,
alone.
we've got a pair coming in from the barn of Steve Asmussen, Mark Cassie, well represented with the Smarty Jones and also the Southwest winner. And Kenny McPeak also with, too, as he also sends out Honeys to Blame. And it was interesting, Bob Baffert does have litmus test in the field for the Rebel Stakes coming off a win in the Los Alfuturity. Originally, he had another horse entered. He pulled that one and then entered litmus test. So kind of interesting. Bob Baffert has won a unprecedented 8 Rebel Stakes. So a lot of trainers and horsemen, owners as well, have used our series of 3-year-old races to really springboard not only into the Kentucky Derby, but the rest of the Triple Crown series as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Oaklawn runners maybe not participate in the Arkansas Derby, maybe go somewhere else on our stake schedule, but also reappear in the Preakness.
That's very possible, and the Preakness is not a bad race to win by any means.
Right.
The Preakness really for a lot of time, it didn't used to be this way, but the last few years it's really been sort of a race that some of the later bloomers use, or horses that maybe are just that notch below those Kentucky Derby types of horses.
Right.
Again, it didn't used to be that way, but times have changed. And the fact of the matter is, for example, I was looking at our board for Saturday's draw, and there is a race with 8 horses in it. That's a 3-year-old first level allowance race.
Okay.
So I wouldn't imagine any of these Rebel horses are going to be entered in that race. But I would say that you get horses like that, they win a race like that, maybe they try the Arkansas Derby or something else,
Right.
and then they sort of springboard towards the second half of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good afternoon. Oh, he came off his mount.
Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to fall off. He just was sort of hanging on for dear life here, our little thoroughbred aftercare plushie. He's over
so
there.
funny.
This one over here is
I
going.
love that. He came off his mount.
He did come off his
But he's
mount.
gonna
He's
be
okay, though. He's all right.
He's okay. He's okay.
He's all right. Uncle Matt's got him.
It is going to be a great weekend, and a perfect way to start off your race day is probably brunch in the Bugler. Then come over for
good
the
idea.
races. Maybe go to the post parade, the carousel, or even in mainline. But yeah, all kind of things going on next weekend. The infield is scheduled to be open, and we always have to say weather permitting because it is kind of still in our winter break, but it looks like the weather is going to be amazing next weekend. I'm
Knock on
super
wood,
stoked
knock on
about
wood.
that.
Yeah, and weather is always something that cannot be controlled.
Right.
Mother Nature gets
It's
to
not-
do what she wants to do.
It's not our fault.
No, it's not our fault. And luckily, and knock on wood, it continues that forecast.
Yes.
But the last few years, the years I've been here, Rebel Day has always been a really nice day,
Yeah.
weather-wise. So we're expecting a fast track for that day all week long, Rebel
Mm-hmm.
Week. And usually, since we have it on Sunday, I would imagine Saturday will be a pretty good crowd, too, as
Yes.
it's Rebel Week, and there are going to be people traveling here for the Rebel.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking forward to a good show. And by the way, they're drawing for the Razorback handicap today, and a major star is going to be in there by the name of Magnitude, who won the Grade 2 Clark. for Steve Asmussen.
That's a big one, big name right there. Name. So yeah, it's going to be a great field. We do return to live racing on Thursday. We do have an overnight stakes on score for Friday's program. Then the stakes action on Saturday and Sunday. Not sure how many races they're going to card for Sunday. It'll just depend on maybe how many entrants and how many contenders we get, but it's going to be a phenomenal day. You will want to be on track because there is going to be such a good day. I'm very excited about this. And you know, it's interesting. I was talking to a veteran of the game, and he said, you know, it wasn't that long ago that the Arkansas Derby was only 3 weeks out of the Kentucky Derby, and they still use that as a springboard. And even back, I'm not sure the last race or the last year it was run, but the Derby prep that they would run the week before Kentucky Derby.
Oh, the Derby trial.
Derby trial.
They used to call it.
And I think it was maybe in the 90s when they still had a horse that won the Derby trial go right back into the Kentucky Derby. So
I have a fun full circle moment.
Ooh, I love these.
I had a horse that I used to hot walk named Hurricane Ike, and he won the Derby trial for John Sadler. And I was watching as a high schooler, my guy Hurricane Ike with Calvin Burrell come right up the rail and was cheering him home on TV. So the Derby trial, I believe now it's run on the same day as the Kentucky Derby and is now called the Pat Day Mile, which has turned out, by the way, to be a really good race.
Huge, big race and a good springboard race as well. Before we came on air, you have to share this because Cody, who is absolutely amazing, we couldn't do the show without him, asked Matt, what was the question, Cody?
The question was, what's the hardest name you've called?
That. Give him your answer.
Without hesitation, it was Gunga Gunga Galunga, which there is a backstory to that. There is a person in Northern California, an owner, who absolutely loves the movie Caddyshack. And
who doesn't?
In the movie, the grandfather was on his deathbed, and he basically croaked out Gunga Gunga Galunga, and then he passed. So the owner named the horse Gunga Gunga Galunga, and that is probably the wackiest. There's a couple other wacky names that I'll rather not say on the show that I had to call that. For somehow the Jockey Club was able to pass him, but Gunga Gunga Galunga, definitely the. I had to practice it before I said it.
I bet you did. We do have 9 races on the card, so let's go ahead and get started. We open up the afternoon with fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, starter 50 condition, and they are going to go 6 furlongs in distance. Matt, we have a field of 7 to kick off the first 50-cent pick 5 of the day.
Well, I'm going to take Feasible in here for Matt Shire, coming off a 3rd place finish in a starter allowance race. This is a starter race as well. It's a non-3 and was in last time out and ran a good 3rd, but the key is look who this runner finished behind, Narazzuri, who has since come back to not only win a stake, but also ran 2nd to the Eclipse Award Grade 1 champion in Nitrogen last time out in the Bayacoa. So this is an easier group, obviously, and if Luis Saez and Matt have this one fit, I would imagine if she runs back to her last race, she's going to be just fine against this group.
Yeah, I'm on the number 2 Feasible as well, and as Matt alluded, Luis Saez is in the irons, as he was in the irons for her win 2 starts back. I like when they give that call back to the leading or the winning jockey because they kind of have a good way of remembering. Jockeys have amazing recall, just like you do, about a horse's trip, about their pace, about their quirks and everything. So really cool to see Luis Saez, who is really having a good meet. Glad to see that.
He is having a good meet, and he's continuously getting support from trainers to put him on live horses consistently. I will say, and I noted this to you a couple days ago, there are times, and this is not a knock on Luis Saez, obviously, but there are times where his horses are overbet because of his brand, because of his name. People look and they go, oh, Luis Saez must be the best horse of the race. I don't have a strong opinion. I'm just going to bet this one. Make sure you identify the ones that are legitimately bet for the right reasons and maybe which ones are bet for a reason like we like the jockey. And if you can find those, sometimes those are good horses you try to play against as well.
That is great advice. Race number 2 is maiden claiming $24,000 is the purchase price. It is for 3-year-olds, and they will contest 3/4 of a mile as we look at a field of 8, which, by the way, is the first leg of the 50-cent pick 4.
It is. By the way, Nancy, we don't have that many scratches today. On your post on Twitter, just
How about
2.
that?
So that's a good thing. That's a really good
Everybody's wanting to participate.
Here comes my price play of the day. Jackie Paper, number 7, was also a workout report play for me, watching this horse's workout on February 13th out of the gate in a minute and change. This horse actually looked pretty good doing it. First time out, showed speed and faded in a maiden special weight at Canterbury. Came back and didn't run a step and was eased, wheeling back in 2 weeks and has taken a bunch of time off since then. So for one, you see horses, first time out, if they come back too quickly, sometimes they take a massive regression. Second time out, after that race, was given a bunch of time off. So my guess is there was a physical excuse there. I love that minute and change work out of the gate. This horse has speed, and I like that the horse is in for a tag. When you go from Canterbury Maiden Special Weight Company and you come here to Oaklawn, you're not going to win a Maiden Special Weight. You're going to have to run for a tag. So that's not a concern for me at all. Seraphin Carmona, he's really starting to go in the right direction with his business. I mean, he's won a few races. I told Penny, his jockey agent, I gave a big shout out to his ride on Cozy My Boy. Not because I picked the horse,
Right.
but just knowing that he clearly looked at the page, knew there wasn't any speed with a horse that's got a little speed, put him on the lead, and the ride in that particular case made a difference. So Seraphin's riding well.
I'm going to go a little further to the inside with the number 2, Cole Fired. I like that the first 3 of his career starts all resulted in next out winners. His best effort did come on debut, running second over the Churchill Slop. Now, it looks like he didn't care for the Turfway Poly. He was well beaten in both next outs, double digits in those starts 2 and 3, and exits a 5th place finish here just 8 days ago. He did flash some early speed, faded in the stretch, and I didn't have a huge opinion about this race, but the question for Cole Fired is if he can conserve enough energy in the lane where it matters the most. Race number 3 is for 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2. $12,500 purchase price, and they will go 6 furlongs in distance. Both parts of the entry will go. And Matt, we have a field of 11, but 10 betting interests.
That's right, because we do have the 1 and 1A, and we saw 2 and 2B won, I think, the first race yesterday. So remember that for folks who may not know. If you bet the 1, you get 2 for 1.
It's
you
a
get
BOGO.
The 1A. Yes,
It's a BOGO.
exactly.
I like
so that'll be good for you. You know what? If you have 2 horses, you have a better chance to win than 1.
Yes,
it's
you
that
do.
simple.
Yes, you do.
Mammut is my pick. This horse didn't run a step last time out. Backed up pretty quickly into the far turn for 30 non-2. Now in for 12.5. This horse was claimed for 12.5 non-2 life. Went second best to Weil Eye, who got bet hard in his next start, then wasn't able to produce. I believe hit the board. Back in for 12.5. The right spot here for trainer Kim Pohl. This runner 3 starts ago was in a non-2 here at Oaklawn and ran 3rd. That last effort for 30,000 just in too tough that day. Back in the right spot here, and I actually think when you look at that 2 and 3 back races for non-2, I think this field is a lighter group than what he saw last time. So all I think he needs to do is run back to those 2 and 3 back races. He'll be in good shape, and he can go to the lead. He can stalk. He's pretty versatile in that regard. He's got tactical speed.
Well, Wayne Potts has 2 contenders in here. I'm going to go with one of those, and that being the number 10, Dark Vector. We just mentioned Amir Mendoza. He is in the irons. Still hoping to improve off of 4th earlier in the month when facing tougher non-2 for 30,000 and finished in front of several that do return in today's field. Now, he takes the lowest drop in his career today, and though it's been a minute, not going to lie, since he's seen the winner's circle, his numbers are trending in the right direction. And I also am a fan of Despicable Me, so he goes, Vector!
I've never seen Despicable Me.
Oh, it's
I've never
so
seen it.
good.
With the minions. right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, they're so cute. Yes. Anytime, as soon as I saw that, a Vector.
My old boss at Emerald Downs, Phil Ziegler, who runs the track, it was sort of like my booth with ducks. He had a bunch of minions in his office. He
They're
loved
so
Despicable Me. So.
They're very cute. It's so fluffy. Race number 4 as we move along. This is for 4-year-olds and up. Starter allowance, $50,000 condition, and they as well are going to contest 6 furlongs. We do have a couple rider changes. Joel Rosario was named on. He's obviously not here today. So Rafael Bejarano picks up the mount on the number 1, Miracle Worker.
Yeah, Miracle Worker 8-1 on the morning line. Joel Rosario off his mounts. It's from what I've been told, he's actually moving his tack to Florida. So with that in mind, Ricardo Santana, he moved to New York. Joel Rosario back to Florida he goes. So with that in mind, we wish him the best of luck. My top pick in this race is Timing Difference, cutting back from a route to a sprint. And even though I love that angle, that's one of the top angles why I like this horse, but there are more other prominent reasons. For one, he ran in an allowance race going 2 turns last time, and if you look at his best races, they're at 1 turn. This horse is going 6 furlongs. You can make a little bit of an argument, maybe 6 is a little bit short for this horse. We'll see. I'm hoping that it's not too short for him. He certainly got the class to run well. He won for 2 back at 7 furlongs over a sloppy surface, got a good speed figure there. He ran a 6.5 furlong race for 80,000 non-2, where he ran 3rd in a good Churchill Downs affair, a little bit of a tougher group than what he finds here. So I have the confidence he can sprint well enough. Tyler Bacon has the call. Probably will be coming from just off the pace here, and timing difference on the class drop. That's a big key. I think this is a significantly lighter field than what he saw last time out, when he finished 5 lengths behind horses like Super Cruise, Gunrunner Charlie, a next out winner. This is a lighter group.
We've seen Mark Cassie and Christian Torres have a huge amount of success so far in the meet. They do team up here in race number 4 with the number 6 City of Oscars, and certainly does stand to move forward in his first start since November, running a closing 5th when facing similar condition at Aqueduct that was going a mile, and that race did produce 2 next out winners, and that was also this runner's first time to contest a race over the dirt. Now he's been working locally since mid-December, some really sharp ones, and now it's his turn at the barn, and he excels not only off the freshening, but also the barn does well with the cutback and distance. And I was reading some of our local notes from Robert Yates, and I didn't know that Christian Torres at one time galloped for Mark Cassie, so they've had that long relationship, and obviously a lot of respect for each other
and
as
Christian's
well.
brother currently gallops for Mark Cassie over in Ocala, so it's a family affair. And I've actually seen that a lot with trainers when they have young guys or gals that gallop for them and then they go on to ride in races. Usually these trainers, no matter how big or small, they give their alumni, so to speak, a chance to be successful in the saddle in the afternoon, which is full circle moment. Here we go again with that theme.
We need to name a horse Full Circle Moments.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to take a quick break. Oh, and by the way, race 4 is the start of the $1 Classics. So go ahead and get your handicapping done because it does start in race 4. We're going to take a quick break on the Sunday edition of Oaklawn Today. We'll be right back.
Experience the excitement of horse racing with Oaklawn Anywhere. If you're an Arkansas resident, you can watch and wager on horse racing from around the globe, whether you're at home or on the go, with any smartphone, laptop, or tablet, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Oaklawn Anywhere app and register for a sign-up bonus. With access to past performances, live video, race replays, and expert handicapping data, you're always in the know with no subscription fees. Bet online anytime with Oaklawn Anywhere, exclusively available to Arkansans. Right, Max? Oaklawn Anywhere. Our season never ends. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Rebel Stakes Day means big money on the track. And now, big money for you too. Swipe your ID on live race days to earn entries for our Rebel Riches drawing. On Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, you'll score double entries. And on Saturdays, a single entry. But on Rebel Stakes Day, Sunday, March 1st, your swipe earns 5 times the entries, putting you closer to the cash than ever before. Throughout the day, 25 winners will take home their share of $10,000. After races 2 through 6, 5 winners will be awarded prizes ranging from $200 to $600 each. From the track to your pocket, Rebel Stakes Day just got richer.
Back as we take a look at the Sunday program, we are up to race number 5. This is for 4-year-olds and upward. Non-winners of 2 races since August 22nd. $10,000 purchase price and 6 furlongs is the distance. Here's one of our 2 scratches on the day that is taking out the number 8, but we still have a field of 9.
Yeah, it's a good field, too. I mean, Martini Blue's my pick in here. Coming off a 4th place finish for $8,000, in for 10. First off, claim by Abel Ramirez Rodriguez, 34% from a 96 horse sample.
That's pretty good.
Jeez. I mean, That's as high as you're going to find, especially as high of a percentage as you're going to find, especially with a trainer that has that many horses. So this barn absolutely thrives off the claim. In for 10 here. This horse was a real nice winner at Canterbury for a $10,000 tag over the summertime. So I do think those Minnesota horses today, a couple of them have good chances in here. This one not as much of a price, 9-2 on the morning line, but should get a really good stocking trip under the apprentice Amir Mendoza, who is riding good right now.
Well, another jockey riding really well right now is Luis Saez. He gets the mount from trainer Dan Ward with the number 7, Go West. And he stepped up to face Starter Allowance Company in his last 2 starts, most recently earlier in the month at Will Rogers Downs in Oklahoma, where he was second as the favorite. Now, there's not a ton of speed in this particular field, so I do anticipate him sitting off the speedy Steel Link and still within that first flight of runners. So looking for Dan Ward and Luis Saez for that picture in the winner's circle. Moving on to race number 6. This is for 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 since September 22nd, a $45,000 claim price, and they are going to go a mile in distance. And as we take a look, no changes except make jockey Ramon Vasquez the pilot on the number 2, Black Powder.
Yeah, Black Powder in here, the horse to beat on the morning line at 5-2. I'm going to try to beat him in here. This is a good race, and it's a good solid race for sort of older, hard-knocking horses in for a tag here. I picked Creative Minister on top. Did not run well, but also against state-breds, I'm sorry, not state-breds, restricted stakes horses in the General MacArthur Stakes. Did not run on Lasix, did not run well. Back on the Lasix, in for 45. This horse won for Abel Ramirez Rodriguez 2 starts ago, in for a $45,000 tag. And yeah, even though it's not easy to improve off of Abel Ramirez Rodriguez, the fact of the matter is this horse is doing really good work against Allowance Company in Texas this year. He's an old pro. He's 7 years old, used to be in the barn of Kenny McPeak. Always just a real cool dude, and I like him on the class drop.
Yeah, he's my pick as well. Anytime you go from the from the stakes ranks back into the overnight ranks, certainly does give a horse a lot of opportunity to move forward and improve. Race number 7 is for 3-year-old fillies, a first level allowance, optional claim price, and there are several in for the tag of $125,000, and they will go 6 furlongs in distance. Matt, we've had quite a few claims so far this meet. Several $1 million has gone through the claim box, and I'm curious if somebody's really going to drop some coin today.
Yeah, I would personally, I'd be surprised if that happened just looking at who's in here and what their numbers are. I don't know if anybody's worth $125,000, but you know what? If somebody thinks they are and they put in for the tag, there's going to be happy people hopefully on both sides.
Yes.
You're going to get a runner that looks like she's got some ability and runs well today, and you're going to get an owner who's going to get a 6-figure check. So, with that in mind, I looked at this race. Speaking of talking about the strength of races, this is a first-level allowance race for fillies, 3-year-olds here. I think this looks more like a starter allowance type of level in terms of not necessarily the condition, but just who's running it here. They're getting numbers that are more like starter horses than they are high-level allowance horses, and that's why I picked NZ Holly in this race, number 7 for Rudy Broussais. Ran for maiden 40 last time out, won for fun, defeated a next-out winner in Ducat, who came right back for that condition to win. Why I'm talking about that starter is because usually horses that win for maiden 40, they do not go on to win first-level allowance races. They win their starter, and then if they're able to do that, then they go on to the allowance condition, or they try it anyway. The fact that I think this is more like a starter allowance type of field gives me confidence just looking at the page that this runner here probably will be able to take up the step against proven winners here. And I love the way she ran last time out. It showed a real nice kick with pressure on the lead. The one knock about that race, the pace was not fast. So it's going to be quicker this time around. And if she can get there, we'll see if she can keep going with a faster pace. If she can't get there, then the question will be, can she stalk the pace and be effective? But 15-1 on the morning line, don't think you're going to get it. Could still probably get a good price anyway.
Yes. Kind of a lightly contested field here of 3-year-old fillies. I'm going to lean towards the number 5, Color Coming In. This one coming from the barn of Norm Cassie, Luis Saez aboard. I love that she won on debut back in late May, despite getting away just a little bit tardy out of the starting gate. Then in late June was stakes placed in the debutante, running 3rd to Percy's Bar. Now that name might be a little familiar. Percy's Bar would eventually run third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly. She does give up recency, however, coming off that 238-day layoff, but she has posted a string of consistent local drills since early December, and the barn does well with horses running off extended layoffs like this of over 180 days. So color coming in is my top selection in race number 7. The feature on the Sunday program, race number 8, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, a second level allowance, optional claim price of $62,500, and they'll go 6 furlongs. Make David Cabrera the pilot on Queen's Martini, and I was really bummed to see that the number 9, Letta's Legacy, is scratched.
Yeah, and Letta's Legacy was going to be a pace presence in here, Nancy, so that takes out a pace presence. Queen's Martini with Mr. Cabrera aboard comes off a third-place finish in the Bugler Overnight Stakes. I think David's picked up a live one here. Trainer Ron Moquette's got her going good. I mean, she's never been better than she is with her last 2 races as a 5-year-old, and she won a first-level allowance 2 starts ago. This is not an easy group by any stretch of the imagination. It's a good, solid field. This is a really solid second-level allowance race, but I like her current form, and I think that if she continues that good form, she's going to be okay against this field. I don't even know if she'll go off favorite, Nancy. I mean, there are other horses in here, even though she's the morning line favorite. There are other horses in here that make a lot of sense. So I expect sort of a 5-2 morning line favorite to be about where our favorite's going to be, maybe 2-1, but it's competitive.
Yeah, there's a lot of back class when you really get into the past performances. A lot of these runners have seen stakes company on their past performances. Race number 9 is the nightcap, and it is for Arkansas bred 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2, claiming price is $75,000. They're going to go 1 mile in distance, and the only change is that jockey Ramon Vasquez does pick up the mount on the number 8, Hicko.
Yeah, Hicko. I'm actually trying to beat Hicko. I don't think he's going to love a mile being by Lord Nelson. We'll see. But this is the race that sort of pops up in the book for him, so they got to give it a try.
Right.
But I would imagine that he's the type of horse that going a one-turn sprint off a layoff might have been maybe a plan A, and now they're on to plan B with the route. I'm going to take Mr. Butch on top. You know, this horse didn't run well at all against Open Company last time out, but it was also sprinting. So this horse really wasn't in the right spot at all because this horse wants to go along, and I'll mention that in a second, but also in against Open Company. To me, off a layoff there for Todd Jordan, it's the old school trick of just we're going to get a race into this horse. We need to run at some point. And then second time out, we're going to have this horse ready, and that's the case. In for 75, yes, but remember, that last race for 32,000 was against Open. This is a state-bred race going 2 turns. This horse ran second in a starter allowance, a real strong starter allowance going 2 turns at Prairie Meadows. This horse has done his best work by far going a route when they first tried it over the summer at Prairie Meadows in Iowa, and he did good work and better work than his sprint races. So maybe they've found the key with this horse because he didn't do well last year either here at Oaklawn, but it was all sprinting. His route races have been better. He's getting to the 2 turns today, and I don't even think he's the best horse in this race, but there are a couple horses in here that don't have good post. There are a couple horses in here that are question marks like a Hicko, whether he wants to go long. This horse, we know he wants to go long, and sometimes in these state breds, going long, if the best horse doesn't win, the horse that wants the stamina does.
Makes sense. I'm actually going to go with a bit of a price in here in race number 9 with the 3 $2 Eddie is 10-1 on the morning line, coming from the barn of trainer Greg Compton. Could have certainly needed that last out back in early January. That was coming off an 8-month break to take on first level allowance option 20. Did flash a little bit of early speed and was fading going into the turn, but the winner did score right back against second level allowance company. He is going to run for the tag for the first time today and looks to show his natural early speed. Again, I really like his most recent drill. He covered 4 furlongs in 48-2 on February 7th. So I'm going to maybe get a little bit of price on the number 3, $2 Eddie, which sounds like a really good like Jersey Mafia name.
$2 Eddie.
$2 Eddie.
$2 Eddie.
$2. I did know a gentleman from New Jersey in the MMA circles, and we called him Joey Bag of Donuts.
You told us that last year, Joey Bag of Donuts.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
Did he like donuts, I'm assuming?
I would think so. I don't know.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
Joey Bag of Donuts. What would your mafia name be? Matt the Caller.
Matty D on the mic.
That's like it's a rap name.
Yeah, it might be.
It's a little long, Matty D
Matty
on the mic. Maybe Matty D.
Matty D.
Matty Mike D.
Matty,
Mike Matty D. I don't know.
Mike Matty D. That might work. This is like a question we got to actually think about this one, Nancy. I don't strike you as a mafia type of guy. Let's put it that way. I don't think my name would fit. I don't think my personality would fit in that crowd.
My grandma's roots are from Palermo in Sicily.
Well, I will say my mother's side is Italian, very Italian.
Okay, there you go. There you
know.
go. You should think
And
of that.
apparently, the word on the street is that my great-grandmother on my father's side used to make hats, and a couple of the mobsters purchased their fedoras off of her.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Allegedly, so.
My grandmother was the first in her family to be born in the States, but all of her 6 or 7 siblings from Italy, Mussolini signed their birth certificates. That's crazy. That's going
crazy.
way back.
That's crazy.
Kind of crazy.
That is.
What are you going to do on the off days, Matt?
Work. For one thing, I do have work for Rebel Week to do, but I've been trying to check out the trails around here, hiking, so I'm probably going to go to another trail, go to the gym, run, get exercise. Oof. I'm going to be exercising. It's still a little bit cool to try going on the water right now, maybe if it warms up in the middle of the week, because I'd like to take a kayak and go out because I live right on the water there, but I won't wait and see how the weather is. But definitely hiking some trails, at least a couple, because we got a few days off, doing handicapping along the way because I want to get all my prep work done so we can just have fun during the racing week. But, by the way, Matty Ice is going to be my mafia name. It just sort of came to my head.
I like that.
Ice.
Matty Ice.
Matty Ice.
Okay.
And this is a mob town. Go to the Mob Museum downtown,
really
by the
cool.
way. It's a really neat
Oni
spot.
Madden, Al Capone, a lot of good mobsters.
And they probably came to
were
the
here,
races.
especially during Prohibition.
I would
You
imagine.
know they came to the races for sure. We still have to show you our, thank you, Cody. See, we couldn't do this show without you. Our $20 show bet bonus, our long shot, and our a top pick. Oh, look at you, Matty Ice, going 7s the whole way.
I'm doing it for you, Nancy. I did that. I
like
said that's
it.
what we're doing here.
Love it. And I went a pair of 2s, then a pair of 7s for races 1, 2, 5, 6. Long shot play of the day. Matt's going to go with Jackie Paper. That sounds kind of mobby in race number 2. And I'm going to go $2 Eddie in the nightcap. Top pick, which is sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Martini Blue for Matty Ice in race number 5. And I'm going to start out the day with my top pick with Feasible. So it is an absolutely fantastic day to be here. The sun is shining. If you haven't done it, start making your plans for next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Don't forget, Rebel is on Sunday this year. Go ahead and make your plans for some bugler brunch, then come over and watch the races because all eyes will be right here on Hot Springs, Arkansas, potentially producing the next Arkansas Derby and maybe Kentucky Derby winner.
Very much likely because we've had plenty of them, especially over the last 10, 12
Yes, we
years.
have.
So, I mean, our programs for the 3-year-old, not only the Colts and the Geldings, but the Fillies has been as strong as it's ever been. And with the money we give out, that's a big reason why.
And we are very proud of that fact.
We are.
For Matt Dinnerman, Matty Ice, I'm Nancy Holthus. Matt's going to give you the full set of changes. You'll see me in the paddock throughout the day. Thanks for joining us, and good luck and good racing.